morning. Let's film my first ever Get Ready With Me on YouTube. I've literally never done this, but I'm gonna do it today because I feel like I have been overthinking what to post on YouTube, but really what I wanna do is talk to you guys and get ready together and give like a couple of updates that I've gotten, questions that I've gotten in my DMs, and just answer everything all at once. So let's just start off with my nose surgery because I haven't updated on that in a long time. I can't see right now, I don't have my contacts in. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, this is the second time around that I've done nose surgery if you're just watching this for the first time. And I did it for my septoplasty, so to fix my deviated septum. And then it was a bonus. I had a lot of insecurities around my nose, so it was just a bonus to then go ahead and get a rhinoplasty, which is crazy saying that out loud because I never thought I would ever do that. Like, always a running joke when we were young, but that's something that we all wanted to do, but like never thought any of us would actually do that. I have some regrets about it. You know, while I had a deviated septum, I could breathe, and I think I really just used it as an excuse to get my nose done. I don't regret it in that, like, I feel like I am more confident about the way that I look. I do regret it in that I feel like I can't breathe as well. I didn't need it. I wonder, like, was it even right of me to do it in the first place? Religiously, Islamically, like, did I take advantage of the fact that I could and I just did it? Like, I don't know. If I ever have a daughter, inshallah, like one day, am I going to, I've talked about this before, but am I gonna regret not looking like her, or her having my old nose and not having this nose? But overall, yeah, I mean, aesthetically, and if it was only about aesthetics, I would say I'm happy. My nose doesn't look that different than it used to. It's not that small, it's not perfect, but it's just aesthetically one less thing for me to think about, and feel like I'm happier there. But morally, like the bigger picture of things, even just like, can I breathe? And the answer is no half the time. I can, but scar tissue makes it hard. Altogether, I mean, I'm doing better. I'm probably like officially healed and fine, but just feeling some regrets. Buyer's remorse, maybe. So there's that. If someone is like considering getting it, I would just say be fully aware of the fact that some people get a lot of scar tissue and some people don't. And you can talk to your doctor about that before you do it, but also consider your morals and your values. And I don't think it's morally wrong or morally bad, but yeah, that's a decision you have to live with for the rest of your life, which again, not necessarily a bad thing, just something to think about, okay? And that's a decision like you're gonna have to talk to your kids about one day. But it's like the same thing, and like right now I haven't gone to laser in like quite a few months, so like my hair on my arms is back and stuff. And it's like the same thing as getting laser, you know? When I was young, like I felt like nobody had hair on their body like I did. And then I got laser, and then I was like clean as a bee, you know? When a younger girl in the family, a younger cousin, they don't see anybody that looks like them. And that is just like annoying for me, I don't know. Because I always wanted, like if I saw a celebrity with a little bit of hair on their arms when I was younger, it was so cool and so refreshing. Not that I'm by any means that, but you know, it's comforting to see someone on the internet that has a little bit of that. So I feel like it's one thing to get laser and like to do hair removal, and then it's another thing to change your nose. Just as somebody who grew up, you know, wanting someone to look like me in the media, on TV, and then changing, you know, the things that I was insecure about. Like, I struggle with that mentally. This is a rare beauty item, and I'm just finishing it up. I don't even know what it's called, but I won't be rebuying this one because I think it's just iffy on the BDS list. I don't know if it's one of like the obvious outright things that we should be boycotting, rare beauty, but I think there's enough BDS safe brands out there that I don't need to rebuy this one. So I really want to try like the Ilia foundation stick. I've seen that everywhere. So we moved recently, which is really nice. We moved into a townhome close-ish to our parents and our family. The transition of moving has been good. Obviously, like things are expensive. So while I felt like I was mentally prepared, I think you're never really prepared for anything that you think you're prepared for until you do it. And even then, you're just learning the entire time. So it has been a learning curve, but it's been a couple months now, and I think inshallah we're getting the hang of it. You know, it's funny because like I was talking to a friend and they're renting, and I was like, keep renting for as long as you can. And she was like, why? Like, you guys just bought, like, why are you telling me to rent? Because you have nothing like to worry about, you know? Like, why, what is the rush with buying? I know people are gonna say overall finances and expenses and whatever, wealth in the long run, but I don't know, man. Renting was bittersweet, but at least like you're not committed, you can keep moving. I love not committing to things. I love being able to change my mind. It's been a blessing, but also I want you to remind yourself, if it's a hard market and you're not in a place where you're ready to buy, Like, just enjoy the renting phase. It's okay. Every now and then my YouTube video about the way that David and I met and got married it resurfaces and gets more views, or goes viral, gets seen by people that like I don't know. And whenever that happens, I'll get a DM. Almost every single time that happens, I'll get at least one, sometimes more DMs asking about like someone else's specific situation. So they're asking for advice on a Muslim, like Arab girl dating, or not even Arab, but like Muslim girl talking to somebody who is not Muslim, or someone that their family doesn't, maybe they are Muslim but different culture, and their family is having a hard time like getting on board with it, or they haven't told their family yet. I struggle giving advice on this topic because like I don't want to lead anybody astray or give advice that isn't helpful in the long run, you know? Like everyone's situation is so individualized and so different. And I can even say my situation, I don't know why it turned out the way that it did. I don't know why Allah gave us the path that he gave us. I can't tell you why. I can't tell you what I did differently. The only thing I can say is to communicate as openly and honestly with your family as long as possible. And this is something I learned the hard way when I was younger and in high school and stuff. I wanted to do anything but communicate openly and honestly with my family. And it's not because my family wasn't easy to talk to. Obviously they had like very strict, not even very strict, but very clear expectations of me, but they weren't hard to talk to. And I think that's they're different things. But as I got older, I was like, you know what? These are conversations that need to be open and honest with my mom. I think the only piece of advice that I can give you is to be as open with your parents as long as you possibly can be, because there is nothing more important than maintaining that relationship to some degree, or at least maintaining trust to some degree. Every situation is so different. I mean, we have different situations just in our circle alone, and different outcomes just in our circle alone. The biggest mistake I see people make is not tell their family and keep their family included in the conversation along the way. I really think, like, I might be wrong, obviously I'll never know. And like my family being included in this conversation was one of the things. It was people's prayers for the best for me and for the best for him that I think is what changed the trajectory of our outcome. Obviously everything is written and God has a plan, and whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But I really feel like including everyone in that conversation, eventually, my mom was included first and everyone else was included second, was helpful, at least to having many other people looking out for us and wanting what's best for us, versus it just being me and him in our own world and in our own bubble, making up stories and making up 100 different outcomes of what could happen. Instead, it was an open conversation. A lot of people ask me like how I got him to convert, and the answer is I didn't. David was very clear at one point that like with my family that he had no intentions of converting. At that point, he respected the faith, but he had no intentions of converting for me. And at that point we had, decided like we had some thinking to do and some stepping away to do, because we also made the decision together that neither of us would pursue a relationship in which our families weren't involved or our families weren't on board. Because at the end of the day, and again, everybody has a different journey here. Like some families, some people have to make a decision and lose a family member along the way. I don't ever recommend that. I recommend avoiding that at all costs, but I've seen it happen where there's no other choice, and it's a different situation than mine and David's, you know what I mean? So like I can understand why somebody would be like, okay, Lena and David, like we don't support, but I can, because it wasn't, I get it, and I'm not going to judge anyone for feeling that way. But if you're dealing with needing to actually leave a family member behind for a decision is best for you, that's a different story. I think we both knew the decision that was best for us wasn't to leave our family behind. It felt selfish at the end of the day. I didn't feel like we were doing the right thing or anyone else was doing the wrong thing. It felt like we would be the ones doing the wrong thing if we pursued a relationship in which our families weren't on board. Knowing that that was our only option, like we took a step back and we said, you're not doing anything for me. Don't convert for me. You can't convert for me. This needs to be something you stand behind. And I'm definitely not doing that for you. I think Muslim girls know that that is just not the way that it happens. I won't be like losing my family over this. And I think it was that stepping away that made it possible for him to just look inwards and see what his relationship with Islam looked like, or what it could look like. I think us meeting was a way to bring him to Islam. So anyways, my advice to you, I feel like this is a question I get a lot, and the reason I'm talking about it is because, people think it's really easy. They're like, okay, well, XYZ so-and-so converted for her, like, you can convert for me, but that's not how it works. And it definitely should not be. You should never convert for someone if you're going to lose your family in the process, because you're sacrificing your loved ones, the people who literally brought you up, your mother, like, who probably has the best of intentions, and you're for what? For a faith, for a religion that you're not converting to for you. So it's one thing if you're converting for yourself because that's your heart, then, like, of course, like, that's for you. And if you lose people along the way, that's okay, because God comes first. But if you do it for someone else and you don't even believe it in your heart and you're just doing it for them, I take a little bit of issue with that, because you're losing your family and you're losing your connection to faith and connection to God. So that's just my piece of advice there. You know, I feel like I had no one to talk to about this stuff. So when I get questions in my DMs, I'm happy that someone has someone to talk to. But I wish I could bring it to people on, like, a wider scale, and bring it to you guys on a wider scale, which is why I want to answer it here for anyone who needs it. And a huge reminder that just because someone converts does not at all mean that they're going to change as a person. So you might have someone convert for you, but that doesn't mean that they're going to stop drinking alcohol. That doesn't mean that life is going to get easier. That doesn't mean that suddenly all of the expectations that you had of your life are going to get better. Keep your expectations, I always say, keep your expectations low and be pleasantly surprised at the end of the day. Always pray for what's best. Always, like, put your faith in something bigger than yourself and something bigger than the person that you're hoping to end up with, because people change. You might have this image in your head of everything playing out one way, and then the other person has a completely different image. So keep, like, communicate, but trust in God and only put your faith in God. And if you only talk to people of your faith, of the same faith as you, and that is the only people you look to getting married, listen, guys, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. You know, if you walk in, you know, or get thrown into a situation where you end up meeting somebody that is not the conventional person you anticipated marrying, or doesn't align with your morals and values right off the bat, or seemingly so, and that's what you get thrown at you, that's fine, but don't go, and I would say don't go and seek that out. Like, don't go and seek out an interfaith relationship. I'm sure there are success stories. I know they exist. I thought I would be one of them. I never really thought I would be one of them, but I knew I could be if I wanted to be. But I don't think it would be a success story if I didn't have my family next to me, and if I had to find a way to merge a household with two different faiths. And I had to fast alone, and I had to do all these things alone. I don't know. I just think there's beauty, and what does David say? Like, there's beauty and unity, and I couldn't agree with that more. And this is coming from somebody who, like, very much my entire life was like, oh, like, love is love. Like, it's okay if they have the same morals and values as you, but you are a different faith. Like, it's okay. And I don't 100% disagree. Again, everyone has a different story and everyone has a different path, but I just think that's a little bit short-sighted, a little bit naive, and just ignoring the fact that it's actually, there's beauty and unity. Like, there's a practical balance in everything. I think, again, like, there's beauty and differences too, and coming together and not being exactly the same or coming from exactly the same place. But, there's a lot of beauty and unity. So if you could find a way to get that and to both stand behind that, then that's awesome. That was a rant I wasn't planning on going on. I need to get dressed and I don't know what I'm gonna wear. Do you guys like my makeup? This is my everyday makeup routine. It pretty much stays the same all the time. It's just a question of, did I blend well enough that day or not? Most days, it's like hit and miss. I've been on a sourdough journey. That's my other update, which I think everybody's been on, but it's been a good journey. I haven't had a perfect loaf yet, but I'm learning. I'm learning a lot. Well, I'm not really learning a lot. I have no idea why my dough is not rising to its fullest extent, but it's fine. I'll survive. It's been a really fun hobby in the meantime, especially because I like promised not to record this like journey and this process, so it won't go up on like Instagram. It doesn't have to go up on YouTube. It is just a simple, pure hobby that I'm really enjoying. And I haven't had one of those in a long time, just like a hobby for the sake of having a hobby. It's been really therapeutic. I love baking, so to not have to pull my camera out and record for Instagram and make a recipe out of it and write it out and tell a story about how it fits into a practical, balanced lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, has been really nice to just make a loaf of sourdough and feel really proud about it and enjoy it with my family. I think it's so important for creators to talk about, or anyone that runs a business online, to talk about how hard it can be, because it can seem like everyone online is just successful and just like making it and whatever, but it's actually super difficult. And you know, I sell coaching, I sell a program to help people build healthy habits and find their happy weight. And I hate to say sell, because like I feel like I offer it. Like I'm not just here selling it for fun, but like I'm offering this to people who need it. You know, it's tough. Like it's tough out there. People don't want to pay for anything ever again. And you know, people have lost so much trust, I think, on the internet, and now have to gain it back. And you know, with all these programs and all these things, and nobody wants to pay for another thing that might or might not work. So it's been I think really hard. Also, I haven't had a clear strategy for a while as far as like marketing for my business goes. I've been in a state where I'm questioning, or I'm rethinking the structure and kind of like what I want to do next, or how I want to move forward with this process. I think like we might be on an endeavor on, we might have some things in the works on what that looks like, and it would look very different than what I'm doing today. People on the internet are really struggling today. Not everybody, but a lot of us. You can't go wrong with a white t-shirt, black belt, blue jeans, and gold accents. Thanks for coming along with me and getting ready with me. I hope that I was a little bit, you know, insightful or helpful in any way, shape, or form. I don't know that I always am. And sometimes I just think I feel like I have something to offer people, and then I'm just talking to myself. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if any of that was helpful, insightful in any way, shape, or form. And if not, you know, you can tell me too. It won't hurt my feelings. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Have a good day.